it is, what it do, people. It's your boy Dre back with another episode. You know what time it is. And this time, I'm not going to break anything down into like chopped up segments. I'm letting this joint run one continuous take. So let's see how this goes. But anyway, let me get into what I wanted to discuss this episode. So now, what people, you got to be sleeping under a rock because if you're into music, especially hip hop, all people are really talking about is the release of Donda and Drake Certified Lover Boy. I don't understand how people are trying to compare, you know, both albums because they're two totally, I guess, like separate genres of music or whatever. So I guess like they're just trying to compare them or put them against each other because it's Drake and Kanye and they got personal beef that stems back from what was it, like 2010 or something like that. Stems back from uh, I guess like Find Your Love when Kanye had produced that track for Drake on his debut album, and some issues have arose from there, and it's just gotten worse. But I'm just like, yo, y'all two grown ass men still beefing with each other, like multi-millionaires. Like, how you multi-millionaires beefing with each other? Like, y'all gotta squash this shit like ASAP. Like, just sit together in a room like two grown ass men and talk this shit out. Like, if Kanye can sit there and talk his shit out, his issues out with Jay, I'm pretty sure he can talk the shit out with Drake. Um, but I don't know, like hip hop, it's a bunch of passive aggressive ass niggas in hip hop. So like niggas be on the microphone talking shit, acting all tough, but then they don't want no smoke. Like you know what I'm saying, like outside of the booth, like because if it was really some beef, like yo, just swing on a nigga. Like that's the way I look at it. Like if I got beef, like if it's really really beef, like I'm going to start. If I see you, we got to fight. Like, and then it'll be what it is after that. But um, like as far as Drake and Kanye, like I don't really take like any of their physical threats serious, especially Drake. Because some records he be talking like mad tough, and I'm like, come on, dog. I don't believe you. But all right. So Donda, I'm gonna get into Donda first since it came out first. All right. So pretty much like the first listen, um, me and my fiance Siobhan, like we were driving from Wisconsin back to New Jersey, and I believe like I was getting into it around Indianapolis. No, not Indianapolis, Indiana. Um, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna finally get into this joint and see what all the fuss is about, because it had literally just came out like overnight, like while we were sleeping in the hotel or whatever. So woke up, was like, oh, Donda finally released. So I was like, all right, so let me check this out real quick. And um, I'm gonna say like a good 2 hours, maybe 3 hours into the trip. I finally decided, all right, let's turn this on. So pretty much, I got like 9 songs in, and then I was like, nah, like so I just turned it off, and then we just started talking for like 2 hours. um, but pretty much like I just didn't get back to it. So like maybe like a whole week goes by, and I'm like, all right, let me try to listen to this album again. I guess like another thing that really turned me off was this joint is like a whole hour and 44 minutes long. That's that's really really long. Like really, if you really look at that, like it's 27 songs. I guess like in this day and age with the streaming services and everything like that, they didn't break it down. But back in the day, this probably would have been a double disc. Um, so, but they're not going to break it into a double disc format like they would back in the day. So, um, but after listening to the actual album, I was actually at home and I was playing Madden 22, my face of the franchise character, like just working through the regular season and finishing up the regular season and got into the playoffs or whatever. So I'm listening to that. Just playing the game while listening to Kanye's Donda or whatever. And I gotta tell you, like this album was alright. Like it might be like one of the best albums that he's come out with in the past few years. Because anything like from Yeezus to like Kids See Ghosts, um, I really didn't like. Um, Yeezus had like a couple of songs that I liked. Life of Pablo, I ain't really fuck with that. What was it? Yay, didn't really fuck with that. Jesus is King, damn sure didn't fuck with that because I felt like, well, one, I'm not really into gospel. Well, I'm not into religion, period. But I'm really not into gospel music. So Jesus is King, like it felt like it was his first attempt at gospel music, and it felt like he was trying too hard. Like he was being like mad preachy and all that, and I'm just like, all right, whatever, dog. And he lost me at like close on Sundays. You know, no, you're number one with a lemonade. I was like, come on, dog. Like I'm done. Fuck this album. I don't want to listen to it. So pretty much, um, this one, Donda is like well, one, it's like a tribute to his mom, and then two, it's a gospel album, but I feel like it's less preachy, and he got people, who's featured on the album. He got them to dig into some personal verses, which I actually like that. Like I like when artists get personal. Um, and I just don't want to hear like, yo, I sell crack, I shoot niggas, I get bad bitches. But look at the rocks on my jewelry. There's a time and place for all that. But other than that, like I like when artists actually open themselves up and give you a personal glimpse into their life. So it felt like these artists were actually getting personal um, with their verses, and I was like, all right, I like that. Now, um, it to me, sonically, the album, like the beats and stuff like that, like they some of them were experimental, um, and then some of them were on some classic like boom bap. There was some electro pop beats, some hip house, some industrial hip hop beats or whatever. Um, but I just felt like there's too many fillers on this album. Like if he would have trimmed this album down to maybe about 10 songs, like 10 to 12, maybe 13 max, um, it actually would have been a better album. Like I just felt like this album was like way too long, and the most unnecessary song on there happened to be the one with him and Pop Smoke. Actually, it wasn't even Kanye. Like it was just like a beat, and it was like Pop Smoke like vocals or whatever, and it really didn't feel like the vocals matched the beat, and um, I was just like, what is this joint doing on here? It doesn't make any sense. Um, I guess like maybe he was trying to, I guess like pay tribute to the late Pop Smoke, but or just I wouldn't want to say like him cashing in on the Pop Smoke craze, but like maybe like him just like trying to show you know uh like respect or whatever. But other than that, I was just like, all right, this was unnecessary. This shouldn't have been on the album. Now, uh, only Kanye can actually make me one kind of understand like a Lil Yachty verse. Cause Lil Yachty, like I don't understand anything that this nigga be talking about. Like he be rapping, like he in the booth with like fucking Skittles in his mouth or something, or cause he's just non-audible to me most of the time. But seeing on Twitter, like people was actually comparing his verse to like it had like Tupac Hail Mary esque tones to it or whatever, and I was like, I was like, I guess I can kind of see it. Um, but yeah, he actually made Lil Yachty actually kind of respectable. Um, I like this song with him. What was it Moon with him and Kid Cudi? Um, I'm usually down to listen to anything that got Kid Cudi on it. Now, the person who was featured, I guess like the most on this album was Vori. Never heard of Vori, but I actually kind of like Vori's vocals. Um, whether it's like singing on the hook or like singing backgrounds, things of that nature. The weekend actually had a verse, but actually had a feature on here that wasn't talking about like drugs or like depression or cheating when he was featured on Hurricane. Um, Lil Baby's verse, like I really me like I don't really see the hype behind Lil Baby because Lil Baby like he's another person that's like not audible to me. Like I can't understand anything that this nigga be saying, and I still couldn't understand what he was saying um, on the verse on Hurricane. Um, I don't understand how people like I've seen like these youngins like trying to say that he's the Tupac of the new generation. I'm like, how? This man put out literally like one conscious album. Not one conscious album. He put out one conscious song or whatever. And like niggas try to compare him to Tupac. Like, come on, dog. Like, first of all, my man be singing horribly with auto tune. And I wasn't feeling it. Um Roddy Rich was actually on Pure Souls. He's another sing songy rapper. Like he's alright. Um, but like his joint was alright. Now Jay Electronica, he bodied his verse on Jesus Lord. Like I was like, yo, excuse me. And then on top of that, like I made a a comment on, well, I made a post on Facebook. I was like, yo, every time you listen to a J Elect verse, like you literally gotta go to like Google and like just look up some shit that he be saying. Cause I'd be like, yo, like my man just be coming with them big words and like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, bro, hold up. I gotta listen to your verse like maybe two or three times and then I gotta go to Google and like figure it out. Fabio Foreign had like a actually had like a deep dope ass like verse. I'm not really too familiar with Fabio Foreign. I just know like believe he's a drill rapper and he was cool with Pop Smoke or whatever, but he's making a name for himself. Now what was it? Jesus Lord Part Two. Yeah. Um, I was actually looking forward to that. Which I actually sat and waited like maybe like a whole hour and 30 minutes into the album because it's like the last song on the album, and I actually like to listen to you know an album in succession. Like I like to listen to it like from top to bottom in order. So got all the way to it, and pretty much like um, as expected, everybody from the Locks brought it. Like everybody killed their verses. And like the song is like literally 11 minutes long, but I don't really give a fuck. I love that song, and like that beat is actually dope as hell. And the most catchy and infectious hook is actually like to me is jail. Now because I just be sitting up there like it just randomly just pop in my head like guess who's going to jail tonight. I'm like, yo, and then I just start laughing. That shit is just mad funny. But I like the bass line on there. Um, and Jay actually had a decent verse on there. I mean, I don't expect any whack verses from Jay, but yeah, he did. He did his usual Hove thing, and pretty much like, oh yeah, Lil Durk. Lil Durk was on Jonah. Now Jonah was actually, um, from what I read, like Jonah, like the name for the song was actually, um, it was a tribute to a rapper who I believe he was either in Texas or um, Kansas, something like that. Like he was killed, and I think he was friends with the dude Vori. So they decided to name the song after him. But I can't believe like, all right, so Lil Durk, he had a line in there where he said, "I lost my brother when we was millionaires. I wasn't scared to die. I wasn't scared to die, but that him that was my biggest fear." And I can't believe, like, I went on Twitter and then someone tried to say that he was talking about um, King Vaughn. I was like, yo, like, do you like listen to, or do you pay attention to the news? Because like he literally lost his blood brother, like D thing, like he was shot and killed in somewhere in Illinois. So I'm like, y'all niggas really be reaching on the internet, and y'all niggas be loud and wrong for no fucking reason, and I don't understand this shit. I really don't understand it, but you know, it is what it is. But actually, like, I'm not really a huge fan of Dirk, but I actually did like his I did like his verse. Um, on the song "Keep My Spirit Alive," the shit that had me dying was, West Side Gun with his ad libs. Like this man, he one thing about West Side Gun is he's gonna keep his ad libs. All right, so this man was literally on a gospel album talking about some boom 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 like in the background. I was like, yo, he the only dude that's gonna be on a gospel album talking about some boom boom boom. I'm like, yo, this dude is funny as hell, and he's just gonna be him. That's just what he's gonna do. He's just gonna be him. Um, so like I said, like as far as Donda goes, like it was a alright album. Like it was cool. Like it wasn't like yo, it's like the best album of the year. Nah, to me, I guess best album of the year still belongs to King's Disease 2 by Nas. Like I was like the best album I've heard all year. Um, and then I like Planet Her by uh, by Doja Cat. Um, actually, I listened to. Let me let me. I'm trying to look at this joint like before I mess it up. I think I actually downloaded it. Yeah. Sometimes I might be introvert by Lil Sims. I actually listened to that. That dropped the same night that Donda and no, it dropped the same night Certified Lover Boy came out, and I was like, yo, I really fuck with this album. Lil Sims is a female MC from England with of Nigerian descent. So yeah, she was covering some topics, some parental like issues, family issues, um, you know, trying to proving that she's nice. Not I said mice, proving that she's nice on the mic, and it's just a whole diverse album, and I fucks with that. Um, Now as far as like Drake Certified Lover Boy, now this joint right here, it was all right. It was like mid. It wasn't the best Drake album. Um, Now like when we get into champagne poetry, notice that off the top he has sampled Masego. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I fucks with Masego though. Um, he is like a slow down sample of Masego's what song is it? Um, Navajo. It was a slow down sample of Masego's Navajo. Actually, Champagne Poetry is like one of the best songs on the album. Poppy's Home uh, says featuring like Nicki Minaj, but we ain't get no verse on there. Like she had vocals on there talking shit about like how she gave birth to like what I'm saying, these chick style. But I'm like, how you give birth to chick style when like you literally took Lil Kim style and ran with it your whole fucking career? I don't understand that shit. And then Drake on top of that, he talking about he fathered, what I'm saying, like these young niggas style. But I'm like, bro, you still everybody style. Like, you kind of like don't really have a sound of your own. I mean, you got like that little emo rap thing going on and everything like that, but it was like from the Migos flow to what I'm saying on Versace to you jumped on the Caribbean joint like the yeah it's like the Caribbean joint. I wouldn't even say the Afrobeat shit, but like you jumped on like the Caribbean joint, especially on Views. Um, You just be stealing like a whole bunch of people's styles. Like you was actually Tory Lanez before Tory Lanez, because Tory Lanez is another dude that just be stealing other people's style, and like the shit is ridiculous. Um, Now girls want girls, like featuring Lil Baby. Songs alright. In the Bible, featuring Lil Durk and Giveon. I fucks with Giveon. Um, Song was alright. Love All featuring Jay Z. Now, I see people on Twitter like trying to figure out who the hell Jay Z was talking about on that verse. Like it was like, yo, who tried to get Jay killed? Who's Jay talking about? And all this and that. I'm like, I don't know, dog. But I seen people, you know, trying to, I guess, branch it down to either like Dame or out of left field, people saying DeHaven. I was like, yo, could DeHaven even try to get close to send niggas to like try to kill Jay or whatever? You know, they've been beefing since like, um, they've been beefing since American Gangster when Jay called him out on No Hook when he said "fuck the Haven for caving." Grown men, no made men don't give statements. Basically saying the Haven snitch. So that's where they completely fell out. So they've been, and then DeHaven's been coming out with like little Jay Z documentaries or tell-alls and all that since then. I'm like, damn, dog, like you've been obsessing with this nigga for like 14 years. Like, let the shit go, dog. Like, let it go. Like Jay's like a billionaire now. He's not even thinking about you anymore. But you still on, you still got this man on your mind. Like, chill. Like, actually, him and Dame. But I'm just like, yo, he ain't even really thinking about y'all dudes, or at least publicly. Fair Trade featuring Travis Scott. I actually kind of like that. I like that song. Um, I like the way the beat switched, like when Travis Scott's verse came on. Now the song that is like the worst song on the whole fucking album is "Way Too Sexy" featuring Future and Young Thug. Those are like not two of my favorite artists, or to begin with. And then this nigga really sampled like Right Said Fred with the "Way Too Sexy" shit. Like I'm too sexy for. I'm like, come on, dog. Like Future, I hate this. I hate the way that nigga sounds, yo. Like his whole fucking career, like this nigga sound like he just chewing marbles or some shit. Like he just got marbles. He got like food. Like he just always mumbling, and like I just can't understand what this nigga be talking about. And then on top of that, the auto tune doesn't really help. So I'm just like, yo, chill, dog. Like chill. I actually like TSU. Um, Even though like it had the R. Kelly sample in it. I couldn't really tell like which R. Kelly song was sampled in there, but people was actually mad that there was an R. Kelly sample or whatever. Like, why would you do that? I'm like, I mean, if it fits with the fucking song, then it fits with the song. Then fuck it, you know what I'm saying? But he had to give him credit because, oh yeah, also they were like, why would he give R. Kelly credit? Blah blah blah. I'm like, cause like he has to. Like, it's either you give this man credit, like give him proper writing credit for the song, or he can fuck around and sue you anyway. So you might as well just go ahead and do shit the proper way. Like, don't do shit the Diddy way. Diddy will literally like what I'm saying, just be like fuck it, and like we'll deal with this shit later after we made all this bread. Then we'll just then we'll write this nigga a check. Um, Into Deep was another Future feature which I didn't like. Pipe Down was a solo Drake song on there that I actually did like. I like that. Um, Yeba's Heartbreak. That was actually a song like featuring Yeba, like just giving her like a showcase or whatever. Um, No Friends in the Industry was a pretty decent song. Knife Talk, actually, like at first I all right, so he sampled Project Pat or whatever, and I'm seeing these motherfuckers like, especially these young ass niggas on Twitter. Like after like niggas is like, yo, who's Project Pat? I'm like, yo, come on, dog. Like y'all young niggas get on my nerves. Like for real, for real, for real. Y'all young y'all young niggas get on my nerves. I call them these new niggas, but like these new niggas get on my nerves because I'm like, yo, y'all really live in an age where information is literally at the tip of your fingers. Like you could literally go Google shit. If you don't know who the fuck Project Pat is, if you don't know who an artist is, or you don't know like something on the subject, like just go ahead and fucking Google this shit. Like, just go ahead, Google it. But anyway, like, so I see like the old heads like on social media. They were sitting up there. There was really educating the youth on who Project Pat is, especially like my cats from Tennessee. Like they was on it. They understood the assignment. So pretty much, yeah. But 21 Savage probably had like the funniest line to me of the year, where this nigga said, um, "The chopper hit his ass, made him turn him to a booty clapper." I was like, "Yo," and he really did that shit like in the Project Pat like fucking cadence, which is I fucking like. Now I see a lot of people. They a lot of people like they like the song 7 a.m. on Bridal. Was it Bridal Path? Yeah, and there was like, yo, whenever Drake has like a time and a date on a song, like he doesn't miss. And I was like, you know what? That is true. Um, like 6 a.m. in Calabasas. What was it? 5 a.m. in what was it? Toronto. Uh, 9 a.m. in Dallas. Like those are just to give you examples of where like this nigga really went in. Race My Mind was actually alright. It was an alright song. Um, I found myself like nodding my head to it. Fountains featuring Thames. I like Thames. Didn't really know who Thames was until the song with her and WizKid. Um, so I was like, yo, all right, I fucks with this. Um, Get Along Better was actually a pretty decent song featuring Ty Dolla Sign. I like Ty Dolla Sign on the hook. I've never really listened to a whole Ty Dolla Sign like album, but as far as hook wise, like I like Ty Dolla Sign. You Only Live Twice featuring Lil Wayne and Rick Ross. Like Ross body his verse. Lil Wayne was alright. Like I haven't really been feeling Lil Wayne since like the Carter Four. Like after the Carter Four, I was like Um, I Am You Too, um, featuring Kid Cudi. I actually like that. Uh, I like that. Like I said, I like anything, almost anything with Kid Cudi. I fucks with Kid Cudi. I'm a huge Kid Cudi fan. Now fucking fans was actually alright. I found myself nodding my head to it. I like the song's alright. Sound like he kind of got a little personal on the song or whatever. Like maybe that's why his last relationship didn't work, or his relationships haven't worked out because this nigga be fucking fans, um, or like the chicks be thinking that he's fucking fans. And I see like Party Next Door got some writing. No, he got some producing credit on it. I think he might have got some writing credit on it too. Yeah. So this possibly could have been like a fucking Party Next Door song that Drake took, because he's good for taking songs from Party Next Door and then putting it on his album. So if I was Party Next Door, like I'd definitely be mad as fuck. Like yo, you keep taking on my good shit, dog. And then the last song on the album, The Remorse, was actually like not that bad. I like it. So like I said, like the album was like mid. It wasn't like his best work, but I guess he was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't really come out with an album in like, what was it, like 3 years or something like that? Um, yeah, because like Scary Hours was an EP. I think Dark Lane Demo Tapes was an EP. If I'm not mistaken. Nah, that was like a compilation. I don't think he really considered that shit, or it's like a mixtape. He didn't really consider that shit an album. Care Package was definitely an EP. Well, nah. It was just like a compilation of like his old shit. Then he had the EP. What was it? The Best in the World pack. After the Raptors had won, so like yeah, Scorpion 2018 was like his last album. So I guess he figured, fuck it, I'll give y'all something. Um, for the first time in like 3 years. What I'm waiting for, um, is I'm waiting for like Kendrick's album to drop because this is gonna be his last album on TDE. He already made that announcement, so people was already anticipating, hearing that Kendrick album. Besides, like we've been waiting for like 4 years for a Kendrick album to drop. He's giving people, features over the past 4 years. He's dropped, features every like here and there, but like he's just been chilling. Um, like the last song that he was featured on was Family. What was it? Family Ties with Baby Keem. Him and his cousin Baby Keem, which Kendrick, like, he made his triumphant return and calling everybody out like, yo, I want to smoke. So I'm like, yes, yes, I need this. Because Cole dropped earlier, which he's had one of my, J. Cole's album, Nas's album, Doja Cat, um, just to name a few, are like, my favorite albums of this year so far. And I'm looking forward to see if Kendrick's going to drop, like, you know, this this year. Hopefully he does. Hopefully, like, his last TDE album drops, and then pretty much like, he just kills the game. Hopefully he doesn't go like back into hiding again, and then like make his way like another 4 years for another album. Because like he's trying to get this PG Lang label off the ground, which his cousin Baby Keem is I guess like the flagship artist or the first artist really signed to that label. So we're gonna see what happens with that. But yeah. So this is pretty much what I wanted to talk about right now. Um, and then I'll probably just drop like another episode sometime in the near future because I got a lot of other stuff to talk about too. But I just wanted to give y'all my thoughts on I guess Donda and Certified Lover Boy, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully y'all enjoy this episode and fucks with you, fucks with me, I fucks with you, and I will talk to y'all later. Thank you for listening, and everybody be safe, and hopefully I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.